Hey everybody, welcome to Respawn Aim Fire, the kick-ass irreverent gaming podcast where we talk about maybe what is one of the sexiest names you can think of? Veronica. Veronica's a sexy name. There's the
What about Betty?
in there. There's the k. Betty? No, Betty's not a sexy name. Betty's like when I think of Betty, I think of Betty Boop. And her head is too square. Too square. Hey everyone, I'm one of your hosts here, Chad Michael Innes. I forgot a middle name other than my real middle name, Chad Michael. Boo boo bee doop. We've also got here that voice you just heard was Joel. Wee Campos. How are you, Joel?
Good, Chad. Can you name anybody on my shirt?
Yes. There's Pennywise the Clown. There's Spawn from Soul Calibur 2 on Xbox. There's Ozzy Osbourne there on the left. Kratos with hair on top. Aquaman on the right-hand side. And then kind of towards the bottom is the guy who played Bowser in the Super Mario Bros. Movie before his hair was blonde.
Those were all right.
Yeah. I know my wrestling. We've also got here on the show our regular co-host, Adam Gumbert. How are you, Adam?
Hello, Chad. How are you doing this evening?
I'm having a quite fine evening.
Very demure.
Childish and pedantic. We've also got here our returning champion, RAF regular, co-host, etc., Alex. Back from Transylvania. Kozi. Now, how are you, Alex?
I'm gone for 3 fucking weeks and this show just completely falls apart. This is despicable. I want you guys to know that. I think this is truly despicable. Hey, everybody, it's me. I'm back. I'm back from not Transylvania, but Slovenia. Everybody made that joke. Nobody can geolocate just where that darn Dracula vampire is from. If I look a little bit different, if you're like, Kozi, did you change coming back home from Slovenia? No, I did not change at all.
I hope you changed your clothes at least once since you've been home.
I've definitely, trust me, I've gone through multiple clothes changes since coming home. The reason why I look a little bit different on this particular podcast, however, is that the nice Sony A6100 camera that I usually use to film myself doing these podcasts decided not to be cooperative today. It worked and then didn't work. It worked and then it didn't work. On and off. And so I decided at the last minute to switch over to my good old Logitech C920 camera, which basically has the power of a potato, but somehow after all these years still works just as well as it did when I bought it in 2019. So that's how we're going to be playing today.
Potatoes.
That's what I tell my wife. I tell her it works just as well as it did in 2019.
You can catch excellent humor like that live every week on Monday evenings around 8:30ish Eastern time, except for the rest of the year. We won't be live on Mondays for the rest of the year. So, do that on Wednesdays on demand on YouTube and podcast at 9 a.m. Eastern time, except for the rest of the year. We won't be doing that either the rest of the year.
Excluding
January,
you can. Of course, Respawn Aim Fire Game of the Year special that you neglected to mention.
But the Game of the Year special will be happening on a Wednesday and therefore go live. Maybe the next Wednesday? I don't know. What is that, Christmas Eve? Do we want it to go? Maybe we'll have it go live earlier.
Dates are impossible. How do we understand
dates are hard. Do you know how hard dates are? Like, try to tear a date in half on your calendar with your bare hands. But it takes more effort than you thought it would.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
And as you stare at it, you're like, is this a date or is this a prune? Wait. I don't know the difference between the two.
I'll wait. Exactly. Very good. Housekeeping for you. We have an episode that we are recording later tonight called After Dark, which is why I'm getting started early on this hard Mountain Dew Baja Blast Pineapple Zero Sugar flavor right now so that I can be all loosey-goosey for our After Dark episode. What is After Dark? Oh, that's an exclusive for a month-ish episode for our patrons over at patreon.com/respawnaimfire. So we're going to be recording that tonight. We've got some good things. Joel has a story to share, I believe, about a neighbor. I have a segment here that I'm going to try out using something that I vibe coded. And Kozi has some information to share about a recent trip to the heart of Vampire Land. So he's going to, we're all going to do all of that later tonight to release to patrons promptly. And then if you're not a patron over at patreon.com/respawnaimfire, you can stop listening now. okay, now that they're gone,
ooh,
don't tell them this,
here we go.
but they can access these episodes for free if they just wait.
What?
Yeah.
No.
So, like, I know patrons could listen to the Toilet Graveyard episode for a while, but truth is, everyone can listen to it now.
Oh, and man, so, we're pulling the rug over their eyes. They would never know.
We're pulling the rug over their eyes. We're pulling the wool out from under them. It's a whole it's a whole thing. We're just pulling anything with fibers. Speaking of fibers, I am currently taking fiber supplements which help me regulate my bowel movements. And next Monday, as we mentioned, there will be no regular episode because next week we are filming our RAF Pody Goaties episode. That's Potential Game of the Years. Pody stands for potential. It is not an acronym. Goaty stands for Game of the Year. It is an acronym. Pody Goaty is a delicious invention of Respawn Aim Fire. So yes, there will be no regular episode next week, but we will be recording our Pody Goaty episode. And I don't know. Maybe we'll change up the release schedule for it because I feel like 2 weeks is a long time to go without us, and I know you all are going to be crying. At least with Santa, between this one and then the 1st of January, we'll be okay because he is there to comfort you and lick up your tears. But until then, we have one last thing to mention.
Real quick, a moment ago, Chad, when you were talking about how you were taking fiber supplements to help with your bowel movements, I was like, wait a minute, did Respawn Aim Fire get a sponsor while I was gone? Are we about to go into some ad for some like
brought to you by Mirror Fiber Gummies?
Something or other? Yeah, I was going to say, we should do that. Let's get in touch.
Mirror Fiber Gummies. They help you poop.
If you
just a few chews a day goes nom nom and out your butt goes blah blah blah.
If you sell fiber supplements to help men poop better than they already poop, by all means, get in touch with us.
You know what's funny? You feed them to women, does
turn into
absolutely
donkeys.
Nothing for bowel movements.
No, they turn into donkeys. It's really weird.
Right, they become donkeys.
We're just normal men.
We're just normal men. Just a couple of normal men. That's a callback. That's a callback. Yeah, finally, last thing about patreon.com/respawnaimfire. You all voted for us to play certain games in consideration for our Pody Goaty episode. Some of those games have been played already. We'll find out in playtime which ones. So yes, we are playing in order. Kozi. I don't know what order this is, but it is playing in order. Kozi is playing The Altars. Joel is playing Dispatch. I am playing the Sea of Stars DLC and maybe Hell Is Us if I get to both of them. Adam is playing
Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
Yeah. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, you don't know that Adam played a little bit of it already. And
historically, we've not done like a traditional like barf review episode for our like end of the year Pody Goaty barf games. But I'd imagine that when we come back from break, we will have like an episode breaking down our thoughts on some of these games. Certainly, you'll also hint, possibly hear about some of our time with these games on the upcoming Game of the Year episode as well next week. Hint.
In addition to coming back and listening to things, you're also going to come back and have a brand new poll ready to go of what our next barf game will be, which is an exclusive voting right of those who are citizens of patreon.com/respawnaimfire. That gets you $1, gets you authority in our elections. All right, with all of that out of the way, hopefully I've stalled long enough to give Adam some time to get his segment ready to go.
Been done for 5 minutes, bud.
Okay. You didn't give me the signal, the secret signal that we came up with.
You're right.
Damn it. Okay, well now I'm going to turn it over to Adam for our main quest, only quest, best quest.
Yeah, so Game Awards for us, if you're listening to the podcast, it's tomorrow. If you're listening now, it's in a couple days. Game Awards is coming up. We know the nominees, and we're going to do a little predictions because at the beginning of this will be our last chance, everybody, to get some points for Gamer of the Year, which is an award we do on Respawn Aim Fire, where depending on how good you do on predictions and stuff throughout the year, you become Best Gamer of the Year. So this is a big one. This is important. And a little backstory.
Hold on. Real quick. Mm-hmm. Can I predict whether or not there will be a trailer for Metroid Prime 4 in which they reveal Samus Aran's voice actor?
Yeah, we can do that in 1 second. You've used it 7 times before, so let's see again.
The game is already out. She doesn't talk in that game. Spoilers. But I think they might still do it. Not yet.
Wait till the DLC where she finds a voice box.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Voice box.
Real quick. Sorry, I know this is an interruption within an interruption. Did any of you three listen to Kind of Funny Games Daily today?
Not Games Daily yet. I'm in the middle of Kind of Funny podcast right now.
Don't listen to it in the middle of doing this podcast because I actually shared my thoughts via super chat on that episode. And I want to keep my thoughts nice and tight until we get to that segment.
Tight thoughts.
Keep it nice and tight. So in the past, I was so good at these goddamn predictions. The devil himself said, "You are my representative for running these predictions." This year, I'm going to throw my hat back in the ring just for fun, because now we're doing Gamer of the Year, so I have to actually be part of it. But the devil has been very proud of the work that I've done. So this year, we got a little mixed bag. So yeah, we're going to do some Game Awards prediction with some twist thrown in. Let's go ahead and move into those. So first up on the list, everybody, I need you. Jeff Keighley's going to come on stage. He's going to be there for 4+ hours. And during that time...
so long. It's the longest show of all time.
It's wild. During that time, there will be announcements of things that we do not currently know. I asked beforehand, everyone, give me a surprise or an announcement you think is going to happen at the show. If you're right, it's a point. It's normal not to get these because you're not really supposed to know is the point. But anyone's got some crazy prediction, throw them out there and you can earn yourself an extra point. So that's how we're starting. Joel.
I'm going to say we're going to see some sort of Halo multiplayer. Whether it's super early or whatever it is, coming out 3 months. They're going to show something of what the future of Halo multiplayer will be.
Is this separate from Halo Campaign Evolved, or is this part of that project? Separate.
It's separate because they already said Halo Campaign Evolved is just a campaign. It's Campaign Evolved.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything. They can do whatever the hell they want.
True, but yeah, I think that if they're going to continue just remaking Halo games, I think they're just going to have one overarching Halo game that is just the multiplayer, whatever it is, a standalone thing. So we'll see what it is.
Okay, very
good.
Does
it have to be standalone?
No, I'm just saying a multiplayer. Okay. They're going to show
if we get anything multiplayer, I'm giving them a point. Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Next up, anyone else? I've got one.
Yes, I've got my prediction.
Go for it, chat.
We will have an announcement of Secret Level Season 2.
Ooh.
And it will be premiering sometime this month.
Okay. The last part I'm a little iffy about, but that is otherwise a really good prediction. That feels like perfectly in league.
There's no half points. There's no half.
Well, no, there are half points. He would get a half point.
Oh, the devil says half is good.
Yeah, the devil's fine with a half and half. Did you say premiering this month or within a month?
Sometime this month.
Premiering in December. Okay.
In December. Diciembre.
All right, Kozi, do you have one?
At the 2017 Game Awards, which is the Game Awards where Breath of the Wild took home Game of the Year, they revealed the first bit of DLC for that game that showed off. Actually, it might have been, I don't know if it was the first or second DLC, but they revealed the DLC where Link gains access to a motorcycle. And it's very funny because Link is, a rustic medieval individual who normally rides around on a horse, but now he has a motorcycle all of a sudden. What a crazy twist of events. I bet that they're going to show off a new trailer for Metroid Prime 4 DLC in which it's revealed that Samus, in a crazy, wacky twist, has a horse instead of a motorcycle.
And the horse is Link, and he's naked with a horse mask, and it's a secret trailer for the game Horses. Now available on Steam.
Don't actually, that is not my actual prediction. I just wanted to insert Metroid Prime 4 in there somewhere.
Okay, I was going to say, Kozi's been guessing Metroid Prime 4 for everything for years, and I was going to say how he has no guesses now. Was he going to start guessing Metroid Prime 5?
No, he's going to go backwards. Metroid Prime 3 coming out on Switch too.
Okay, here's my actual prediction. I
already wrote this one down for a little bit. No.
Okay, real quick. Is it Benny Safdie that is voicing Bowser Jr. in Mario Galaxy?
Yes, one of the Safdies, yeah.
Benny Safdie will be on stage to present something or other, and he will introduce a clip from the Mario Galaxy movie that features him. That's my prediction.
Benny Safdie shows clip.
Does the movie feature him or does the clip feature him? Because the way you phrased it, it could be either.
The clip features the character of Bowser Jr., Bowser Junior, Gunnior, shortened to JR.
That's Gunnior.
Is it?
Yeah, you said G. Yeah.
Did I? I thought I said J. Anyways, it's him voicing the character, not him in the movie. He might still be in the movie, but it won't be featured in that clip.
Interesting. I will. Benny Safdie as an just clip. I'm going to say it's a bit of a. I'm going to put a bunch of qualifiers on it because we kind of already know. Tomb Raider will be shown off, which we kind of already know. That kind of leaked already. But it's not more than. It's more than shown off. Tomb Raider is shown off. Full announcement trailer with a release date of fall 2026.
And then at the
give it
very
away
end,
to everyone for free who has an iTunes account.
and then at the very end, it says, "And it's canceled." Sorry, everyone.
That's not part of my prediction, but I will make sure to make a note of that. Tomb Raider announced
and canceled
for fall 2026. Yeah, you know, they love to show games off that they say are going to be here in 3 days and then cancel them at the event that they said they were going to be at.
Was it the Game Awards? Was it the Game Awards that had like 5 trailers for that game Homeland 3? Or was that in E3? I don't even know what the game is.
Homefront? No.
Homefront? No, not Homefront.
It's like a space game or whatever. Yeah,
some space game where they just kept showing the same like commercial for it.
That sounds about right. That sounds like a Game Awards Chick Hydra Man thing. All right, so that's our predictions. If they happen, cool. If not, whatever. Who gives a shit? Now we're moving on to our next segment of the Game Awards predictions. This is presented by DraftKings. Over-unders. I have some lines here, and you got to tell me if it's over or under this number. And if you're correct, you'll get a point. It's all fun. I'm actually going to do the O and the U so we all know. All right, so the first one up. The most wins, by the way, I went and double-checked this. This includes if an actor wins for a game. They include that in the game's total wins. Okay. The most wins in a single year, pointing that out, in Game Awards history was 7 by The Last of Us 2 in 2020. Does Expedition 23 change that at all? The over-under is 7.5 for Expedition 33. So can Expedition 33, does it either beat the record or does it stay under the record is basically all I'm asking for. Over-under 7.5.
How many are they
nominated for 12 things.
I'm going to say over.
I'm also going to say over.
I know it would behoove me to say under, but I'm going to say over as well. And I think the thing that puts it over, honestly, sounds banal to say, but like Expedition 33, a little bit more. I know that both deal with intense subject matter, but Expedition 33 definitely has a bit of a lighter touch than The Last of Us Part 2, which I think will allow it to go over just a smidge better.
I'm going to say under just because the odds say if everyone in the field's doing one thing, take the other one. All right. Our next announcement, new games announced from a major first-party studio, a.k.a. Xbox, Sony, Nintendo. The line is set.
Wait, does Xbox count as a first-party studio still?
Yes, it still counts because they still make a box. You must smell your mother's box. It is the over/under is at 1.5. So basically, is there one or less announcement or 2 or more announcements from Nintendo, Xbox, Sony?
Oh, over my dead body.
Anyone else?
We need a cricket sound effect. I'm going to go under.
I will go over as well.
I'm actually going to go under. So again, it's kind of unfair because I did. These are new announcements, is what I did say. I kind of cheated. I didn't cheat. I did research. Normally, it's 1 or fewer. Last year, it was only Heretic. I think the year before that, it was only like 1 game. So I think safe to say it'll still be 1, but we'll see. Anything could happen. I'm going under as well as Kozi. Chad, it's a favorite from you. We brought it, I brought it back just because I like you so much. Over under is set at 0.5. So either there's 0 or there's 1 or more.
We're talking about VR games, aren't we?
VR games mentioned. Yeah. Commercials do count. An official commercial for a VR game does count in this prediction. Over under VR games. I was so
adamant last year about 0 of them, and then fucking Deadpool VR comes out and says
it was Summer Game Fest where like I think Meta was like an official sponsor. You're like, they're not going to show any VR games. It's like, bro, they're definitely going to. But Game
Hold on, I have a question. Mm-hmm. What if they show a trailer for a full game, and then at the end, at the bottom, there's like a PSVR 2 logo or like MetaQuest logo, something.
Yeah. If VR is mentioned at all, it counts.
Okay, I'm going over.
I'm going over.
Okay.
I'm going over because our good friend Steam Frame is coming out, and they want to push some games.
Kozi?
I am going to go over as well for the same reason as Chad.
I'm going to go under, just again, taking the other side of the field, and we'll see what happens there. Next up, listen closely to the words coming out of my mouth. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth?
No.
Celebrities who show up at the Game Awards. This includes being in a video package. This includes as an awards presenter. They cannot be voice actors or like only known to be voice actors, and they cannot be video game folks. So like
Timothy Chalamet when he came out on stage.
Timothy Chalamet would count.
Charlie Cox? Charlie Cox would count.
Charlie Cox would count if he was physically there on a video. But Neil Druckmann doesn't count because he's a video game guy. Yeah, Neil Druckmann doesn't count. Laura Bailey doesn't count. These are video game, industry people, non-video game industry people, celebrities showing up. The line is set at 3.5.
Over.
So Joel says over. Chad says under. And again, this would be video, presenter, doesn't matter as long as there's a celebrity that's there. What do you think?
It felt like last year we definitely had a bit of a deflation in the overall number of celebrities because it was the 10-year anniversary and Jeff Keighley wanted to, give the game developers themselves more of a chance to speak on stage. I feel like because we no longer need to worry about 10-year anniversaries, this is going to be over. I think the celebrities are coming back in force.
Funny enough, Kozi, there's actually a good amount of them there last year, even with it being the 10. Harrison Ford literally showed up in a video. Like
that's true.
Kind of things.
And not in a video. He was there on stage.
He was physically there. Yeah.
Real drunk.
3. He's living his life. 3.5. I'm also going to go over on this. I just think there's a good possibility. All right, next up, and our last over-under, so don't fuck it up, or you're an idiot. I am looking for, again, listen closely. Chad, do you understand the words coming out of my mouth?
Never touch a black man's radio.
In-game musical acts, non-orchestra. So the idea is, right before the end, before they announce the Game Awards, they have, like a little presentation. Like the orchestra will play all the songs.
Right.
That are nominated for Game of the Year awards. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a musical act that is in-game. For example, whenever Alan Wake 2 did like the on-stage where dancers were singing, that is an in-game musical act. That's not just Snoop Dogg showing up high as hell singing a new song. That is a thing that it exists in a video game that they are performing on the Game Awards. Non-orchestral. Again, it's excluding that last part.
Okay.
Over-under is set at 0.5.
So either something that is music in the world of the game that a character would recognize as this is music from my game.
This is music from my video
game. Okay.
Yes. They've done this a couple of times. I think they did one for Hellblade 2. They did one for Alan Wake 2. I think God of War Ragnarok had one. So there have been a couple of them. Joel wants to go under.
Whatever what was the number?
0.5.
0.5.
Oh yeah, under.
So it's either 0 or 1 or more.
I can't think of anything this year that had like music in it as part of the world.
Well, so here's the thing. There was that Gamescom where they had that little musical segment with the music from Expedition 33. I want to say it was Gamescom. If not, it was something else.
That's not in game. If a character in the game was a musician, like a bard, and they had a sea shanty that they sang all the time,
I got to be honest, I don't really understand this one. It's just to be
as long as it's not just them playing the soundtrack. If it is a performance of music from a video game,
well, no, that's a different sentence.
I literally put in-game musical acts, non-orchestral.
Chad and Joel both went over. No, wait, you guys both went over. Okay, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go over. Just so if it is out the board.
Some French woman singing a song that was on the soundtrack of
if they say
33, that counts as
this is a performance of a song from Expedition 33 and a woman comes out and sings a song on a stage from that counts. Yes, that is a performance. Okay, that is not orchestral.
I'm going over.
Well, so you are switching it to over. Okay. Yeah. Again, anything that is from
the Alan Wake example was weird to me because that was like in the game that song was.
No, it's just a song that is being performed.
There's
it's
a band from the game that sings a song. And
it's just anything that is not an orchestra that's an actual performance. So Chad says it's going over. What about you, Joel? You staying under?
I'm going under. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go over, and this is wishful thinking. just because I want Scylla and the Sirens to show up. People who played Hades 2 knows what that is. I would love for those ladies to show up. That'd be cool. So this is just me being hopeful. All right, that is it for our over-unders. Now we're moving on to our pick one category. Each person here gets to pick a category from a list of categories I say they can pick from. Okay. Chad, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
So you can pick from best sports and racing,
Nope.
best multiplayer,
Maybe.
best fighting, best
Nope.
sim strategy,
Nope.
or best family.
Maybe.
Those are your 5 options. We're all picking from that same list.
What am I doing with this information?
You're picking the winner from this category. You, Chad, alone get to pick the winner from
Okay.
this category.
Okay. Can I know the nominees of
I
the
put a
two
link-
categories I'm waffling between?
I put a link in the chat, but I can name anyone off. What are you interested in?
I'm interested in family and multiplayer.
Best family has Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Crossworld, Split Fiction, and best multiplayer is the other one you said?
Yeah.
That's Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction.
Ugh. Ugh. Ah.
You also get best sports racing, best sim strategy, or best fighting.
I'm gonna go with best family game.
Best family, okay. The best family.
The best family in game. This is it's a video game that has a family in it, right? And the family has to show up on stage.
I don't know if anyone knows what it means, Chad.
Okay. Best family game. And then those again
It's
are
Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and Split Fiction.
This is maybe a dumb decision because this category usually is synonymous with best Nintendo game. But I'm gonna go Split Fiction.
Split Fiction.
I'm going Split Fiction, and saying this is a good game to play with your kids, or fun, and it's fun and frustrating, and yeah.
No idea what this fucking category means. All right, moving on to that. Kozi, same things that I just said, minus best family game. So best sports racing, best multiplayer, best sim strategy, best fighting. Which of those 4 would you like?
Let's go with best. I'm going to go outside of my wheelhouse for fun. I'm going to go with best fighting.
Okay, we have 2XKO, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, and Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage.
What was the first one?
2XKO.
Yeah. And I thought there would be like the one obvious answer, but
You should have looked ahead of time.
yeah, whatever. I said ahead of time that I was going to go against type, do something that's normally outside of my wheelhouse. I'm going to go with 2XKO.
Yeah, that's probably what I would go with if I took that as well. All right, Joel. Whatever's left for you, we have best sim strategy, best sports racing, best multiplayer. Which would you like?
I'm going to go best sim strategy. And for this, I'm torn between Final Fantasy
I'll tell you real quick,
Tactics.
for all the people listening, The Altars, Civilization 7, Final Fantasy Tactics, Tempest Rising, Jurassic World Evolution 3, and 2 Point Museum are the nominees.
Yeah, I'm torn between Final Fantasy Tactics and The Altars. But I think I'm going to go Final Fantasy Tactics.
All right, FF Tactics. And then that leaves me with either best multiplayer or best sports racing. Oof. We already talked about how much of shit show the best sports and racing one is. Best multiplayer is also kind of difficult for me.
That's difficult because everyone loves Battlefield 6 this year, but also everyone loves Arc Raiders.
Yeah, so I'm saying everyone also likes Arc
yeah.
Raiders. I don't like Peak. I will do best sports just because fucking, I don't know. I picked last and I'm screwing myself here. And it's just like, is it the soccer game or is it the racing game? You know what I'm saying?
Which soccer game?
Well,
Rematch?
it's not going to be a rematch, I'll tell you that much. I'm stuck between Mario Kart World or EA Sports FC. And I think just because the international crowd and... Actually, I'm just going to go Mario. No, I'm going to do EA Sports FC as best sports game. All right, very good. We are now moving on to our final category, everyone picks winners.
Category.
Final countdown. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories here. Everyone's going to pick the winner of each of them. We're going to start with best independent game. The nominees are Absalom, Ball X Pit, Blueprints, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong. How do you think the Game Awards are going to play this, everybody? Some people are like, oh, if it wins this one, then they'll give this one to someone else. Some people say that's stupid as fuck. What are you guys picking? We can start with Joel. You're at the top of my list. What do you think's winning best indie?
I'm going to go Expedition 33.
All right. Chad, what are you going with?
I went over on my Expedition 33, getting more than 7.5 awards. So I gotta represent Expedition 33
All right, Kozi.
on at least 8 of these.
All right.
I am going to go with Hollow Knight Silksong.
Silksong. Actually, that's you put my name, and I'm gonna go. So here's the thing: every time we do this, people are like, "Oh, they're gonna give it to that one, so they're gonna represent this one and give them that." That's not how this shit works. People are like, "What's the list? That's the best game." I think it's also gonna go to Expedition 33, even though it kind of sucks because they're also this category alone is fucking amazing. But I think Clair Obscur is gonna take that one away.
I mean, if something else deserved to win that category, they should have been better than Expedition 33. That's kind of their fault.
Yeah, that's their fault for sure. Make it better video games. Next up, we're looking at best performance. We have Troy Baker as Indiana Jones, Charlie Cox as Gustav, Jennifer English as Mael, Erika Ishii as Etsu, Kanatsu Kato, I'm very bad at Japanese name, as the girl from Silent Hill F, and Ben Starr as Verso. Best performer. Where are we going here?
Ben Starr. That's my vote.
All right, you're jumping ahead of the list and saying BS. That's Ben Starr.
BS.
All right, very good. Kozi, who do you think is going to get best performer?
You know what? I'm going to go with what I think might be the dark horse pick. I'm going to go with Erika Ishii for Ghosts of Yote.
Ishii. All right, Chad, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go with Jennifer English as Mael in Expedition 33. Clair Obscur.
You would say it Expedition 33, Chad? I'll have you know.
Twat. That's right. Expedition Twat Twat.
No, it's
Twat.
30. You say 30 because that's 30,
Twat.
and then you say 3, which is
Twat.
3.
Twat.
30,
Twat.
3. It's very easy.
Tramp Twat? Is that what you're
Definitely
saying?
not
Tramp
hard.
Those are my favorite kinds.
30, 3.
As for me,
Trump
Man.
Twat. Got it. Okay.
oh, that's a good one. I would love to give some love to Troy Baker because he's just Harrison Ford and it's great. But I think it's going to be Jennifer English. So me and Chad, we're agreeing on that one. Next up, best art direction for all of you paint heads out there. MS Paint. Using MS Paint to make all your pretty video games. The nominees for best art direction are Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong. Chad, best art direction. What are you thinking?
Twat. Expedition 33.
I'm gonna say the same thing just because all these other games are sequels that have the same art direction as their first game, more or less. So Expedition 33 for me.
Kozi, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, the logic is sound. Like, I don't feel like Expedition 33's art style is necessarily any better or worse than any of the other games on this list if we were looking at it purely objectively. But for the exact reason you're saying, of it being the one new game, I'm going to go 33.
Funny thing enough about this category is every year when like a game just destroys and wins every single category, for some reason another game always wins best art direction. So I'm thinking, like the Last of Us 2 year, Ghost of Tsushima won it. Like every year that a game is winning everything, they always give art direction to somebody else. But I'm playing a numbers game. I'm also going to go 33 because you guys also said 33. So if I get it wrong, we're all wrong together. I don't have nothing to worry about. Next up, best audio design. When you put them earphones on your head and you hear them sweet, sweet squelches, who makes the best audio design?
First of all, it's a crime that Arc Raiders is not on this list for audio design.
Yeah.
Take it up with Greg Miller. He's the one voting on it.
I'm going Battlefield.
Well, let me say the nominees for the audio listeners, Joel.
I'm going Battlefield. I'm telling them one of the nominees is Battlefield, and that's what I'm going with.
Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Silent Hill F, and yes, Battlefield 6. I'll put BF6 for you, Joel.
Man, I really loved listening to Death Stranding 2's audio. Some great tracks in that game, some great audio design. I am going to go with Battlefield 6 as well, though.
All right, Chad.
I'm going to pull something out of my ass right now.
Are you?
And it's a tampon. And
Is it gonna
I've
hurt?
been
Okay.
soaking it in vodka and sticking it in my
Whoa.
asshole.
He's going to say somehow Arc Raiders still wins this because the fans are that powerful.
This is the surprise announcement. My gut says go Battlefield 6 because Battlefield has a history of like, hey, we are the first ones using like really realistic gun sounds in our games, et cetera, et cetera.
I
Audio
feel
design is
like-
important. But all those guys went to Arc Raiders. So I'm going to say Silent Hill F is going to get this one. I haven't played it, but I feel like spooky atmosphere is like the differentiator from the rest of these that are all like, I don't know.
Well, what's funny is,
Wild card.
of course, a game like Battlefield 6 cares very deeply about its audio design, but I feel like what you're describing is way more Call of Duty's bread and butter. I feel like Call of Duty typically is a game that shows up in this category. And I feel like we're just being like, yeah, Call of Duty, Battlefield 6, same thing.
This year Call of Duty did it make any of these lists?
I don't think so, no.
I don't think so. Maybe something weird. I'm also going to go Battlefield 6 just because when you put your fucking surround sound headphones on and you fucking shoot a dude in the head, it feels
Like you
chunky.
know exactly what he was thinking from the sound of his brain.
Yeah. Nothing better than the sound of a man just getting shot through the head.
Oh, it's so good. Moving on to our final one. I wonder how many surprises we'll have here. We have Clair Obscur Expedition 30. This is for Game of the Year. Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. What are we thinking here, everyone?
Okay, Bonanza. No, just kidding. It's Expedition 33.
Yeah, same. E33. Twat, twat.
Twat, twat.
Kozi?
I'm going to say 33. Question for the group. If we could wave Jeff Keighley's magic wand
I can.
and
That's
I
his
have his
penis.
arms.
show, whoa, you have it. Wow. Send it over to us. And we could reveal which game of the other 5 nominees is going to get like second place in terms of the overall votes like accounted for here. Which game do you think is second place? Because I weirdly feel like if there's a single game that could actually topple Expedition 33 on this short list, it's actually Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I feel like that game has
Yep, that's the one.
weird energy behind it that I feel like could potentially hypothetically put it over the edge, but probably won't.
All
My
those
prediction-
Europeans love that shit so much. And like, hey,
Yeah.
there's a lot of them voting too.
It's because for them, it's like, look, that's where my house is right now. Like, it used to be a field with some rocks on it, and now it's a 500-year-old piece of shit falling apart wooden thing with some rocks on it. But my guess for second most votes is people who wrote in Clair Obscur Expedition 33, but wrote Claire with an E on the end, like the name on accident. And so there are enough of those people that outweigh the rest of them.
It's all those mail-in, write-in votes.
Yeah.
People voting for Harambe for president shit. All right, that is our predictions for Game Awards. At the beginning of the year, we'll go through it, see who did the best, and then they'll get a point towards Gamer of the Year. Funny thing enough, guys, before I even sat down to do any of this, because I put my hat back in the ring because the devil said, sure, why not give them a run for their money? I'm just going to guess Expedition 33 on fucking every goddamn category because that feels like the easiest way to win this game. But anyways, that's it. We'll see what happens later. Is it this week? Shit, it is this week.
Yeah, this Thursday.
We'll talk about it later. That is our main quest segment from Adam. All that good shit wrapped into one, baby. Now it's time for playtime. Talking about playtime.
Talking about playtime. Y'all,
Chat.
we have a Metroid Prime 4 review this time. But we're going to make you wait a little bit because that's the end of... We have
That's the
nothing after
last
this.
one. Yeah.
So we're going to make you wait till the end for Metroid Prime. So I'm going to talk about Park Invaders. Guess what? It's Arc Raiders. It's secretly Arc Raiders in disguise. No, I'm not gonna. This will be like the 5th week in a row that we just gush about Arc Raiders, and I'm not gonna do that to you again because you're all playing it already and you know how great it is. But I've been playing it some more. But the other thing I've been playing this week. Oh shit! I didn't even fucking put on here Destiny Renegades. Oh my god! Whoa! DR doctor, call the doctor. Tell him I need a lung transplant because I had my breath taken away by a Praxis Blade. Destiny Renegades came out this week, and this is the Star Wars themed. It's more than themed, less than
Inspired.
Star Wars canon. Star Wars, I think even inspired isn't doing it enough justice, but a Star Wars-esque Destiny expansion, borrowing heavily on themes, borrowing heavily on aesthetics. It has blasters that look exactly like fucking Mando's sniper rifle. It has lightsabers called Praxis Blades. It has a villain who is basically exactly Kylo Ren in appearance and a little bit in terms of mommy issues. By the way, I was watching a review of Renegades from Aztecross on YouTube today, and he brought up this lore piece that's in like one of the books that explains everything behind freaking this Kylo Ren guy whose name is Bale. Like his whole, basically his origin. Like, why is he as pissed off at Guardians as he is? Holy shit. I wish we saw a cutscene or like had some kind of like in-game actual thing about that thing instead of having to read it on a YouTube reviewer's lore thing.
Chet, it's almost like that's exactly how Star Wars fans feel about Star Wars, where the best content of Star Wars is stuff that's not even in any of the content.
Wow, got it. So yeah, we played through, Matt, Dallas and I played through the whole campaign. This is the second year that they're not doing a traditional campaign structure, where normally in Destiny history, they will have once a year a big, meaty expansion with a long campaign that then turns into a post-game with all sorts of post-game activities and new environments to explore, exotic missions. And after the final shape, they had a whole year of, weird little side chapters. And then this year they were doing 2 shorter campaigns. And I don't like it. I don't like the whole conceit of the shorter story things. I didn't like this campaign that much, honestly. And part of the problem is you can tell that they are so short on content because the campaign itself is padded with what would normally be just regular game content after you play through the campaign. So to give you kind of an example, a lot of the campaigns previously had been like maybe 8 to 10, sometimes 11 or 12 different full story missions that each are somewhere between probably 40 to 60 minutes each. And you can play them on legendary, you can play them on normal, whatever it is. And you are going, it's pretty linear. And maybe there are a few different things in between that you're doing. But this one is 45 different steps to this quest to this entire campaign. And I believe we only counted 4 unique missions that are actually part of it as the campaign itself, complete with cutscenes and things. And then the rest of it is just do the activity 3 or 4 times, like the random activity that is part of the seasonal content.
Like, if you've ever played Destiny, an activity is more or less like doing a dungeon, right? In Destiny, a dungeon is a completely different thing than
not a
most
Destiny
games.
Dungeon, but
not a Destiny dungeon, like a World of Warcraft dungeon, where it's like, hey, you're going into this area, basically battle your way through it, right? Complete the objective and come back and get your loot.
Right. Go defend a point, go, smuggle a thing out. And so it's very much a like highly repeatable activity with randomized loot and randomized objectives and things like that. And so this was padded out with that to serve as many of the steps of this. But then the rest of it was also just a bunch of what felt like needless fetch quests where you are, and they're not even fetch quests. It's just needless, go to this person in a different location and read their text box. And there were so many instances of like, hey, go talk to Drifter. And you went to go talk to Drifter and he said, voice acted 3 lines to you. And then it's go across the map and talk to this Dreg. And you talk to this Dreg and it's 4 or 5 different text box lines because they don't bother to like voice act most of the interactions nowadays because they've cut the staff down so much and who knows. And then they're like, all right, go listen to a tape recording of Drifter. And it's not, Drifter's in the same building with you. We saw him there. But no, you actually have to go to a different planet or a different place and you pick up a tape recording and just listen to it. And he could have just said that same exact thing before. Or so many different interactions like that where so much time is spent just loading into a different map to push a button to listen or more likely read someone's interaction with you. And it just got, it became a joke almost. of how many times we just had to run back and forth between all of these places. And we legit spent more time on loading screens than we did in actual content. And it was frustrating as hell. Let me caveat that by saying the ambiance, the atmosphere, was
Music.
spot on.
The music is amazing.
Who could have guessed that when you bring back the legendary composer who created all of the Destiny soundtrack for like the first 8 years, and then you lay them off, and then you bring them back for an expansion, suddenly the music's good again? Who would have thought? Because Michael Salvatore came back for this one.
Quick question. You've talked about how it's not set in the world of Star Wars, but it's Star Wars inspired. Is the music, like, you kind of answered my question as you were speaking. It's not Star Wars like music. It's Destiny like music, but it is good.
It is very Star Wars inspired music. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of like music underscoring everything that is very Star Wars like. You'll hear like little piccolos going, and just like things like happening around you that are very Star Wars like. But yeah, it is all very Star Wars inspired, but it is very much a Destiny tale and Destiny story with those kind of tropes around it. So yeah, I think they nailed the look of these environments, the look of these different activities that you're doing. Unfortunately, just the activities themselves aren't fun. The cutscenes are dope, however few there are. The actual story that the Drifter is telling, and the story that happens between him and this Kylo Ren type character named Bael, interesting, but overall, I'd say the majority of the campaign, we just weren't having fun. The like weekly activity or the random activity that they're like throwing in there for you to do several times for no reason is just also not a fun. And this is kind of this is modern Destiny now. Is just like the gameplay's not fun right now. The actual activities that you're doing minute to minute, game like day to day, are not fun to do, and there's not really a good thing to chase that's worth doing these activities for. And that all changes about 3/4 of the way through the campaign when you get your lightsaber. Because the game went from a 3 out of a 10 to a 10 out of a 10 as soon as you get that lightsaber, because woo-wee, that weapon is badass.
What do they call it in universe,
it is
though?
A Praxis blade. But it even has customizable hilts. It has different, they're not kyber crystals, but they're something else crystals, dark matter crystals or something like that you put into them that change the color of the blades and have different effects. But this is the weapon that is like, first of all, it's OP as hell. So it's basically, as soon as you get it for the rest of the campaign, it's like, this is the weapon you're going to be using. It has all sorts of cool abilities. It's like you're swinging it back and forth to deflect projectiles. You can throw it similar to how you could in The Force Unleashed and kind of bring it back to you. And then obviously you can swing it like a sword too. And it's just so much fucking fun. But then you can also see that the rest of however long you spend with this game between now and the next 6 months when the next piece comes out, you're going to be hunting, like they expect the lightsaber to be your main source of driving you to do these activities. Because if you want a different color, if you want a different hilt that has a different alternative like effect, if you want the catalyst for it, there are 4 different catalysts. If you want it to have a different type of, I can't remember the name of the mod on it, but a different piece of that you can swap it out for, that maybe whenever you throw it, it will scorch enemies or sever enemies, or maybe while you're deflecting projectiles, it makes you amplified. Like that, those are all the things that, oh, this one's a random drop from this activity. This one you find in the dungeon. This one you find by replaying the exotic mission, which, by the way, again, the exotic mission was used as part of the campaign instead of normally as like an extra cool mission that you get to go to outside of the regular campaign. So it's just more of them shoving everything they have into this one thing just to make it longer than 2 hours. So yeah, I don't know how much I will probably play a little bit more, at least to hunt down the color of dark matter crystal for my lightsaber that I want. But I don't know how much more of this I'm going to be playing until the next big expansion comes. Overall, kind of let down a little bit. And the whole time, nonstop, we were all kind of like, oh, wonder what's going on in our creators right now. Wonder if there's a night raid over in the buried city because I need X, Y, and Z. Or God, I'm 2 ranks away from getting a demotion, and I got to make sure that I shoot enough Rocketeers so that I get enough points on my trials. So, yeah, Destiny's not doing it for me again right now. Joel, you played a little bit of it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm playing through it with Jerica and Audrey, and just because of schedule and stuff, we haven't had time to beat it yet. We're, I think, more than halfway through it, based off of what Chad was saying. But yeah, like overall, like Chad was saying, the gameplay is not great. The activities are not great. I just fucking love Star Wars. So I just, like Chad was saying, I love the ambiance and the feel. Like the music is fucking amazing. I think Bale as a character is really cool. Like I think he looks awesome. I wish I was like super jacked and skinny because I would fucking cosplay Bale all the time. Just really cool character design. And like Chad said, obviously it's just an alternate Kylo Ren. He almost looks like one of the Knights of Ren from the movies. But yeah, overall, like I'm enjoying it for what it is. It's like I'm not gonna stick around for Destiny just because the gameplay is not great. There's no draw to play the game outside of playing through the story because I've played the other 10 plus campaigns that have come out for this game or however many there are. But yeah, I love Star Wars, so obviously I'm going to finish this no matter what, but I'm excited to get the lightsaber and play with it. The gameplay looks fun.
There's a dungeon that comes out next weekend, and I would love to do this dungeon before I leave for North Carolina. And you know, Dallas and Matt are not usually people that do the dungeon. I mean, Matt hasn't done the last 2 dungeons, even though he has the pins for them. So I need you or Jericho or Audrey to hurry up and beat this campaign so you can do this dungeon with me.
I mean, yeah, I can do it. I'm down. I'll be able to beat it. I don't, that's the thing is like, I don't feel like I have to wait for Jericho or Audrey, but it's like, I'll text them every day seeing if they're free. And if they say, yeah, then we'll play. But
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like we're very far from the end. So I'm down to do the dungeon. What weekend is that? Next weekend?
Yeah, like
Hold on.
5 days from now.
Oh, like this coming weekend.
Yeah.
Ooh, gotta watch
Oh.
Saturday Night Main Event. You don't have time for that, man. Sorry.
I got ooh. Okay,
Got a
we'll
wedding to
talk.
go to.
I got a Friendsgiving to go to on Sunday.
It's December 13th.
Yeah,
Even
but my friend,
Canadian
we're all
Thanksgiving
busy.
realizes we'll get the fuck out of December and go to October instead because December's already chock
Yeah.
full of holidays.
We're smart. Smarty pants. That's who we are.
Now I'm confused. Hold on.
Real
I
smart.
might have Friendsgiving Saturday.
Super smart. So, fun
Anyways.
fact: the candy known in the United States as Smarties is actually called Rockets up here in Canada.
Are they still shit?
Well, see, we also have a candy that's called Smarties, but it's sort of like it's like an M&M knockoff, where it's like chocolate in like a candy shell.
Oh, yeah.
They're not very good though, unfortunately.
So all Smarties are shit.
Wait,
Gotcha.
Chad, this dungeon coming out in Destiny, is it also Star Wars inspired, I assume?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's also where
yeah.
you get the catalysts for the lightsaber.
Chad, you know who also beat it? Kenny. He could
Kenny?
probably be a third if
Oh, yeah. Kenny, if you're listening to this
Kenny.
and you want to apologize
Kenny?
for cheating while playing Star Wars Unlimited and pretending to beat us all night, then I'll accept your apology.
It's
Ken
looking like
Ken.
it's gonna have to be Friday night and Sunday, Chad. So that's when I'm free.
All right. One other game that I played, TOTWK, Throes of the Watchmaker.
Oh,
This is the DLC to Sea of Stars, which you all voted on for Barf. I am probably, I'm guessing, like an hour and a half from the end of it. It's like an 8.5 hour little chapter. And I'm just going to say this is maybe the perfect DLC for a game. And
whoa!
it does things that I think every DLC for every game should do. Namely, all you have to do is have beaten the game. So load any save file that has beaten the game, and the first thing that pops up is, hey, there's a DLC. You want to go play it right now? Yes, I do. Thank you. And then you go in there, and there's this, Metroid moment, this MacGuffin that for some reason you can't use all the skills that you've acquired throughout the whole game for so far, and you can't use all of your equipment for some reason so far. And also, you don't have to remember how to play with each of the 7 or 8 or however many characters are in this game. You don't have to remember how to play with them and what their things are because you've got 3 characters this time. You got your Solstice Warriors, and you got a different third character that you're going to be playing along with. And you have, like, your level doesn't matter. All of that doesn't matter because you're gaining renown throughout this thing too. So it's one of those things where, for instance, Final Fantasy 16, I have so many DLC things to go back to and play in that, but I'm dreading it because I remember how difficult some of those fights were and how you had to get really good, and I felt really practiced. And now I know I'm going to go back in those things and have to relearn how to fucking play.
You got to go back to baby mode, dude.
Yeah.
That was the way
But
I
this
played
is
Final Fantasy.
This is perfect. This game, this DLC, brand new side story. Everything you're progressing with is all from scratch in here by itself. You're learning a little bit more about the Watchmaker. With if you played Sea of Stars, you understand and know who that is. But it's the Watchmaker up in that tower, and you're learning a little bit of backstory there. And everything's kind of around this new idea of shrinking down. And so you're shrinking down inside the clock tower in the Watchmaker's room. And I won't spoil anything about the rest of it. But this is the second amazing DLC this year that has released that is all themed, or that has circus kind of themes and under the big top kind of themes to it. So the other one being Lies of P. Overture,
Lies of P.
Which had a very good kind of circusy carnival type level in it as well. Having a great time with this one. I can't wait to finish the last hour and a half-ish, maybe tonight. So good. And of course, all of your skills too in this one, like they're all circus themed too. Like you're a third party member. You shoot a bunch of cannonballs in the air, and then you're running around with a trampoline, and the cannonballs are like bouncing off the trampoline to hit the enemies. One of your characters gets a new class, and they're a trapeze artist now, and then another character is like a juggler now, and all of them are themed. All of their moves and upgrades and armor are all themed around these new things, and it's fantastic. That's it. That's what I played. Adam, you also didn't play Metroid Prime 4, so tell me a little bit about what you played this week.
Nothing. No.
Wow.
There's not a lot to talk about it, but I actually did buy and then play a lot of Jurassic World Evolution 3. Let me tell you, good ass video game. Here's the thing I like about these incremental games, right? If you take 4 years to make the next one, after making a shitload of DLC for the last one, the video game's just good. I mean, we're hanging out with Jeff Goldblum. They got new dinosaurs. The campaign mode has nothing to do with the movies.
It's actually Jeff Goldblum in
Yes,
these
he's in
games?
all the games. He's in all 3 games. He doesn't give a shit. He's like, give me the paycheck, I'll show up to your stupid fucking park builder. But no, yeah, it's again, it's a park builder. You make your Jurassic Park, Jurassic Worlds, whatever you want to do. The campaign gives you all these different interesting scenarios across the world. So you're building like 10 different parks as you go through a story. Again, Jeff Goldblum's there to narrate and talk to you all about it. And again, they just give you the improvements from the last one. They're like, okay, what did people like about 2 and what did they not like? The shit they don't like, gone. Replaced with something new that they never had before. So it's like, I mean, there's not a lot to say different between 1 to 2 to 3, except for that it's just better. There's more dinosaurs, more situations. It's a ton of fun. I love this. I love these games. So I'll play this shit all fucking day. I don't care. Make my hamburgers $30. I don't give a fuck. Buy the fucking hamburger. You know, if you want to see the Tyrannosaurus, you got to pay for the hamburger. It's all
People
good.
got to eat. You're not going to come here and not eat.
Exactly. But no, I also do love that they can just get away from the movie stuff, because the other games had like campaigns based on the movies. And only 1.5 of those movies is good, even though it's dinosaurs, so I'll watch them all day. But now they're just like, listen, that shit happened. It's fine. Let's just do our own thing. It's like, yeah, I prefer this to like, oh, do you want to retell what happened in Fallen Kingdom? Not really. But I guess we're here. So, but yeah, no, good game. Check it out if you like park builders.
Do you want to spend an entire hour exploring that creepy mansion that the clone girl lives in?
Ugh.
Spoilers.
But here's the thing, though. The Indoraptor, really fun to have in your park, because that motherfucker gets out real fast. He starts fucking shit up real easy. But that's it for me, though. Nothing else. Anything before we get to Kozi's just big old dick swinging reviews? Or
I'll talk about Dispatch for a minute.
Ooh.
I beat it right before we started podcasting today.
Ooh.
This game's amazing. It's very, very good.
Hell yeah.
I think I got the good ending, or one of them. I haven't had too much time to look into the different endings, but I'm pretty happy with the way my ending turned out. So, yeah, it's a great game. You guys got to play it if you haven't played it yet. It's more of watching a show than playing a game, which is what I said last week. Yeah, I don't know. I love it. I think it's great.
I will try to keep this as vague as possible. Did a certain character of nebulous, like, moral alignment end the game by going over to the dark side, or did they
Light
stay
side.
good? Light side. Yeah, you got. I'd say you probably got a good ending.
Yeah.
not the one I got, but you got the good ending.
Ooh, you got the correct ending, the right ending, the
No.
only ending.
I
Yeah.
did not. I
All
ended the game
endings are
with my
fake
my dick
that
being
aren't that
dry. It's
ending.
the worst.
Whoa.
I like
In mine, they showed every single character one by one go into a voting booth and write in Trump on whatever election they were having. That's how mine ended.
it
Jesus.
was very, very weird and dark.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, this game, it just does funny shit like all the time. Like there's a really short guy who's really strong, the little Irish guy. He just runs
Yeah,
around and
punch
like
up.
you get into a bar fight and this guy just runs around punching everybody in the dick. Like that's his whole thing. Just sprints
a
around the bar
superpower.
punching everybody in the dick. It's amazing.
It's so good. I love using that guy. He's awesome.
Yeah. And then like Waterboy, I mean, come on. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Just full of anxiety and water. Love him. Great game. Great game. I'm curious what they do with a sequel to this. If they do make a sequel directly to this, or if they just do something else like in this universe. I guess it all depends on if Aaron Paul wants to come back, right?
No, we're going to Miami in the sequel. Or we're just going somewhere new with a new famous person.
Yeah, and you'll have characters that like cross over from the first game, but I totally can see them being like, we're going to do a dispatch unit in another completely different nondescript city in the United States. That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I'm excited to see whatever they do next. So
All right, Kozi, I think you're all whistles go.
Boy. Oh boy. Well, here's the
All
thing.
whistles go.
Before we can talk about Metroid Prime 4, we have a lot to get through. We've been going for quite a bit, so I'm gonna try to keep these short and succinct. So I traveled to the great land of Slovenia, not Transylvania. There were no vampires to be seen there. While I was there, I did do a little bit of video gaming on my Nintendo Switch 2 system. One of those games was Pokemon Legends ZA. I was, initially hesitant to pick up Legends ZA because what they'd shown of the game leading up to release didn't really pique my interest. There was also the fact that, the two games that this game is ostensibly a sequel to, Pokemon X and Y and Pokemon Legends Arceus, are not really my favorite Pokemon games. Pokemon X and Y, I found that game to be just a weak first foray for the mainline series into 3D. I felt like it didn't really do enough to really kind of take advantage of the series' sort of new dimensionality. And I also felt like it just kind of paled in comparison to some of the prior mainline Pokemon games we'd had in terms of just level design and story and whatnot. Legends Arceus, I enjoyed enough, but I did not particularly love its combat system, didn't love its boss battles. Once I rolled credits on that game, I walked away and didn't really feel compelled to come back. And so, yeah, going into this game, I was like, I don't really feel compelled to get into it. But then Chad, Joel, everybody on social media was like, yo, I'm playing this game and I'm having a lot of fun. And so I was like, you know what? I'll pick it up for the trip. And let me tell you, I really love this game. I rolled credits on the game with 43 hours on the clock, and I am unfortunately, I've not been playing it over the course of the past few days because I had to play and beat Metroid Prime 4. But up until Metroid Prime 4 came around, I was just having so much fun in this game. Obviously, as we've all talked about, this game is very lacking in terms of presentation value. It's very lacking graphically. The animations for its human characters, at least, is consistently poor. Obviously, it crucially lacks voice acting, which is really, obviously felt in a lot of instances, especially early on in the game and some of its glossier cutscenes. But once I got into the just actual rhythm of this game, these issues were very easily ignored. I love the dual system of by day exploring the city and then catching Pokemon out in the wild, and then by night battling Pokemon trainers. It just did a great job of ensuring as I played that I never got bored spending too much time doing the same task. There's always just the beginning of a new cycle to mix things up, which I really loved. The little incentives that the trainer zones give you to approach battles using different tactics or moves was really appreciated. Loved that you can go out and just accumulate as much money as you possibly can without even needing to battle trainers as well. That was really great. I really loved just sort of how small this game's open world was. I know that for a lot of people, that's a huge strike against this game, but I love that this game's open world is pretty small and constrained. Gave me just, a great opportunity to really get familiarized with the streets of Lumio City. I love doing all the dinky little platforming challenges. Those were always a lot of fun. Finding Pokemon in secretive places was great. The side quests, consistently fun to complete, and I was always really satisfied with how often the side quests would end in rewarding me with a actually really useful, meaningful reward. story, isn't the most iron tight story in all of RPGs, but it, served as a vessel for probably one of the best casts in any mainline Pokemon game. I love the little kind of like core group of trainer friends that you have in the game. And I thought every single kind of rival that they introduced over the course of this campaign was consistently 10 out of 10. Some of the best new characters in any recent Pokemon game. So yeah, overall, really loved it. Only real huge critique is that while its gameplay system is a huge improvement over Legends Arceus, it's still not perfect. I find the juggling act of issuing commands to your Pokemon while you move around the battlefield to be just a little bit cumbersome. And the issue is exacerbated all the more when, normally when you're out in the field, battling random Pokemon, you obviously have to be worried about, avoiding their attacks. But when you're just battling like random trainers at night, it's not something you really have to worry about, which makes the whole thing of having to run around the battlefield just, again, needlessly cumbersome, needlessly confusing. I will also say, not a critique per se, but I am curious as to how I'll feel about this game for like a few years from now after, presumably Pokemon Generation 10 or the next Legends game releases. I kind of feel like, and stick with me on this game is almost sort of like the middle evolution in a Pokemon line. It's the Charmeleon, where Arceus was the Charmander, and Generation 10 / the next Legends game might end up being the Charizard. And so I'm kind of like, years from now, will I look upon this game as, a really great game that I still love? Or will I look at it as, oh, this is a stepping stone to, the series' next evolution that, doesn't hold up in the context of the things that will come after it? I don't know, but for now, I'm really loving this game. I'm excited to get back to it now that Metroid Prime 4 is over and see what more its post-game has to offer. That was the main game that I played while I was in Sylvania.
DLC comes out this week. You're gonna get
Wednesday. Right. Yep,
that's right. That is probably what will get me back into the game. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Can I pause for just a moment, real quick, and just mention, Joel, I don't know how you've tuned your YouTube algorithm, but I love that your next two videos on the right-hand side there are from two different makers, like two different YouTube channels. One called I Bought a $1 Million Game Store, and the other one is I Got Arrested for Tax Evasion. And wow. I want them all to be like, I blank, blank, blank.
I made an original Xbox portable.
Yep.
I secretly lived in Mr. Beast's house.
So Pokemon Legends Arceus was the main game that I played while I was in Sylvania, but I did also play quite a bit of and beat Asterisk up until Act 2 of Hollow Knight Silksong. When I last left off Silksong, I had gotten up to the last judge, which is the boss at the very end of Act 1. And I got a little frustrated, stopped playing. Came back to the game, managed to complete the last judge, managed to complete all the way through to the end of Act 2. I did make a valiant attempt to unlock Act 3, but I kind of reached my limit after hours of scouring the map and completing side quests. I'm not 100% going to commit to saying that I won't ever come back to this game to complete Act 3, but it's not likely at this point. Silksong is a really unique example of a game where I tremendously respect the hell out of it, but I really don't love it. I think that Team Cherry masterfully executed their vision of a hostile and terribly difficult Metroidvania. They set out to make the haunted kingdom of Farloom a despondent, sinister place where so often, like, just even saving your game means being forced to spend your hard-earned currency, where, attempting a boss means enduring grueling runbacks, especially when you were fighting the last judge, where, Kaizo-esque traps that you could have never anticipated just lie in wait ahead of time in places that you could have never anticipated.
Didn't that fucking piss you off the first time you did that?
Oh, man.
And then the second time where it happened the first time, I was like, oh, I fucking hate that. And then I was like, I wonder if that was just a one-time thing, and went back and fucking fell for it again. Oh, my God.
I think that Team Cherry deserves immense praise for using their clout from the unique position they found themselves in after the original Hollow Knight to make such an uncompromising vision where like they could have just very easily made something that was much more crowd pleasing and accessible. But the extreme difficulty of it kind of left me more exhausted than not when I was over with it. The original Hollow Knight, that's a game that I look back on and I'm like, man, I really love and respect that game in equal measure. Silk Song, I respect more than Hollow Knight. I respect it more as a piece of art, as an uncompromising expression of Farloom's inhospitality, but I don't love it as much. And that's for that. All right. Gotten those games out of the way. It's time to talk a little bit about a little game called Metroid Prime 4.
And that's it, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to Respawning Fire. Oh, just kidding.
We'll never
What
learn
game
about
did you
Metroid
play?
Prime 4. I played a little game called Metroid Prime 4: Beyond. Now, here's the thing. I have played and beaten this game, but before I can even begin to talk about my thoughts on this game, I want to just touch base a little bit about the road to this game's release. The road to Metroid Prime 4 has been twisty and curvy and twirly, to say the least. I don't know if twirly
Much
is even
like
a
our
word.
protagonist.
In
This
September,
curvy ballerina doing twirls.
we here at Respawning Fire did an episode titled We're Worried About Metroid Prime 4, in which we all kind of delved into our concerns for the game based on the trailers that have been shown so far. It was shortly after the trailer in the September Nintendo Direct that showed Samus Aran riding around on Viola, the motorbike in the desert region of the game. And we were all like, this doesn't look very good. Now, shortly after that episode, I went on Mr. Hawk's podcast, the Story Motors podcast, and talked about how, my concerns aside, I still had a lot of hope for this game. Retro Studios is a game developer that time and time again has defied expectations and made spectacular titles. Certainly they could pull it off again for this game. And shortly after that, they put out a really good trailer for the game that was called like the Metroid Prime 4 Survive trailer. And I was like, you know what? I'm really inspired by this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up not one, but 2 copies of both the Samus Aran amiibo and the Viola motorbike amiibo. And then after that, on November 13th, which is a Thursday, that's important. I'll explain why in a moment. I left for Slovenia. And I was in the air flying over to ye old Europe. And I arrived in Slovenia on Friday, November 14th. Now, why is this important? This is important because we had known ahead of time that on Friday, November 14th, previews were going to be dropping for this game, for the one preview event that Nintendo was doing of this game ahead of its release. And I had kind of mildly forgotten about this. But then when we touched base down in Europe on Friday, November 14th, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Previews for Metroid Prime 4 were supposed to drop today. Let's see what people thought about this game based on the preview event. And I just opened up Blue Sky to a world of horrors. 50% of every person that attended this preview event was like, oh my God, the game wasn't that bad. But then you go into this jungle clearing area and you encounter this one NPC called Miles McKenzie, which is like this geeky, like possibly Rick Moranis inspired, like tech nerd guy that basically explains to Samus how to do a bunch of basic things like saving the game and generally is like a very annoying sidekick / companion. And I felt very conflicted reading a lot of these previews because it's this sort of complicated thing where like a lot of old school purist Metroid fans really don't like the idea of there being sidekicks, companions, NPCs in general, dialogue in general in Metroid games. They point to games like the original Metroid Prime or Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo as prime, not intended, examples of how to, tell a emotionally evocative and compelling story without the need for any dialogue, any NPCs, any extraneous characters, but Samus Aran herself. And they pointed to this Miles McKenzie character and not unfairly were like, why do we need this character in this game? And why does he need to be this annoying? I'm kind of in the middle of things from like, I get that opinion, but I don't think that inserting NPCs into a Metroid game automatically ruins it. There are a lot of Metroid games. There have been a lot of Metroid games by this point such as most recently Metroid Dread, that have featured NPCs, featured dialogue moments here and there, and they've been totally fine, none the worse for wear for having them in them. At the same time, even though I don't think that NPCs will necessarily ruin a Metroid game, if the dialogue, the quality of the writing is still bad, that can still be a problem. And so the final stretch, the final few weeks heading into Metroid Prime 4, I was very just like, man, I'm just so stressed out because of all the conversation, the just constant up and down of the news cycle heading into this game. One week people love it. The next week there's a Miles McKenzie character and people hate this game. I just want this game to come out so I can sit, play it, and make up my own mind on it. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that I've been saying 5 times by now that I'm ready to talk about Metroid Prime 4. But once again, I need to go back in time just a little bit more and set the stage. The year is 2008. And I played Metroid Prime 3, my Nintendo Wii, for the first time. And it was something of a minor revelation for me. It came at a time when I was really beginning to grow a little bit, weary of Nintendo's fun, sanitized branding. And I was hoping for something a little bit darker, a little bit deeper. And Metroid
You
Prime
want
3...
Samus to fucking rip people's heads off.
Well, I didn't even
everywhere.
I didn't even know that Samus Aran was a thing. I didn't even really know that Metroid was a thing.
That was your first Metroid game?
It was the first Metroid game that I played to completion. I had played Metroid Prime Hunter's First Hunt because that came with every new copy of the DS back in 2004. Prime 3 provided me with that experience, and it opened the door to all sorts of other games and genres that I previously honestly never would have tried. I genuinely think that it's because I played Prime 3 and also a couple of games on my cousin's PS2 that I was motivated to eventually get a PlayStation 3 and play games like Mass Effect 3 and eventually other shooters like Resistance and Killzone when I eventually got my hands on that console. And that of course in turn opened me up to a wealth of other mature gaming experiences that definitely changed my perception of the medium and what it was capable of. I've waited 17 years to finally get a proper sequel to Prime 3. I've endured multiple console generations, a variety of other Metroid games, some good, some bad, that weren't Prime 4. I've lived more than half of my life to get to this moment in time. And I'm here to report.
Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. That's it for Respawn Aim Prime.
And that's all for this episode. I'm here to report that I think that Metroid Prime 4 is one of the most disappointed I've ever been with a Metroid game. However, and I want to make this point clear right up front, Metroid Prime 4's NPCs, such as the aforementioned Miles McKenzie character, while not exempt from criticism, are not at the core of why I think that this game is a disappointment. This game's problems, the reasons which I'll get to in just a moment, are a lot more foundational, and I honestly feel like so much of the conversation, so much of the hubbub concerning this game's use of NPCs is honestly just kind of a noise/distraction in the face of these more foundational issues. Before I get into my more specific thoughts in this game, Joel, I do want to kick to you real quick because I was a little surprised when you shared on the group chat that you were playing this game as well. What's your experience with like the Metroid games, the Metroid Prime games going into this one?
Zero experience with Metroid Prime.
Zero.
Before this. I played. So I told you before on the DS, my Nintendo DS back in the day, I got for Christmas one year, came with a demo for, I think you said it was Metroid Hunters or Metroid Prime Hunters something. So
the game it ended up being was Metroid Prime Hunters. The demo was called Metroid Prime Hunters First Hunt, and it was a short but like entirely original campaign, not featured in the final game that we got.
Okay, yeah. So that campaign is all I had played before, and I fucking loved that. And that's the only thing I ever played Metroid related. And so when I picked up Metroid Prime 4, it was because I was at Costco and it was on sale for $62. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm picking it up. So I picked up Metroid Prime 4 on launch day because it was at Costco. And I've been playing the fuck out of it all weekend. I have not beaten it yet. But yeah, I love this game. I think it's awesome. It feels very much like a like a baby's Halo game, if that makes any sense. Like it's very linear. It feels to me like Halo in a way. The shooting I am loving. Something about morphing into the fucking ball that is so nostalgic for me, because I remember doing that a lot in Metroid Prime Hunters, whatever the fuck the subtitle, I don't know. I remember doing that a lot in that game, and I love doing it in that, and it feels great in here. The physics of being that little morph ball, I don't even know what it's called, man. I just know Samus turns
Morph ball.
Okay,
Yeah.
Samus turns into a ball. Yeah, this game's awesome. Like graphically, I think it's better than I expected it to be. Honestly, like from what we had seen before with like the desert and stuff. That being said, the desert area is so lame. It's just a big open fucking desert with crystals. It's so stupid.
Real quick. I want to take things back a little bit. Do you know approximately where? No, not that far back. Not that far back. Oh, Joel's walking away. Joel's coming back. Where are you currently at in the game?
So I tried going to the volcano area.
Okay.
Volcano said no, can't come here yet.
Right. Yeah.
I went back. I got the fire shot.
Right.
And then I went to the frozen area after that. Used the fire shot to do some stuff, and that's kind of where I left off.
Okay, so I'm not gonna. I'll try to remain relatively spoiler light where I think it makes sense. Here's the thing. I'm disappointed in this game. This game has a lot of great things going for it. Joel, as you just pointed out, this game is a visual and technical marvel. It's like probably the single like best looking and best running game on both the original Switch and Switch 2. I haven't played the original Switch version of the game, but apparently the original Switch version is like very competent, and what's great is that like more than just having fantastic fidelity, like the actual art direction for Metroid Prime 4 is just consistently very strong in all areas of the game.
Yeah, you've gotten everything looks like vaginas.
That's true. That is true. He's not lying on that point. The game has a really very solid soundtrack. It's not my favorite of the Prime games, but I feel like it harkens back to the first three Prime games thematically in a very satisfying way.
Soundtrack is even better if you buy the $30 amiibo, which is crazy.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. As you also alluded to, Joel, game just controls very well. Like running, jumping, and platforming in first person feels as good as it did in the prior three games. The Morph Ball also feels really good. The game, I don't feel like I'm going too spoilery talking about this, but the game gives you a bungee cord upgrade later on that you can use with the Morph Ball that like might be my single favorite feeling thing in the entire game. Viola, not my number one favorite video game motorcycle, but feels totally fine too.
Quick, top three favorite motorcycles in video games. Go.
I like the one in Death Stranding. I know it's supposed to be like not very durable, but I kind of like the appearance of that one. The look of that one, the feel of that one. That one's good.
Cool.
I don't have any others.
Vagina games.
All right. I think that like most areas of the game also do just a really good job of providing a strong sense of like verisimilitude within the areas, which is to say like it does a really great job via environmental storytelling and scanning of just providing context as to what purpose each area of the game serves / why it exists. So like, in like a traditional platforming game like Mario, you always have like themed regions. You have the fire region, the ice region, a thunderous electricity region, etc., so on. But this game always does a really good job of like going out of its way to justify each zone's like purpose and reason for existing. And so early on, a zone that both me and Joel have experienced so far is Volt Forge. Volt Forge is the electricity themed area, and Volt Forge is a motorcycle factory. We all knew going into this game that Samus Aran was going to be getting a motorcycle called the Viola motorcycle. And the whole idea with that area is it's like, yeah, this is the factory where the motorcycles were manufactured. And there are a lot of really cool, fun level design moments going through that area where like you have to go through the assembly line of the factory and you have to occasionally like pretend that you're a piece of the motorcycle being constructed to be brought from one area to another. So you'll go into morph ball mode. One of the hands working in the factory will like pick you up and then toss you to another location. All that stuff is really good. And I will say that like up until the end of Volt Forge, the game just has really strong puzzle solving, level design, puzzle solving acumen. All that stuff's really good. And last thing I'll say, all of the bosses, I think, almost without exception, excellently designed. This game has some of the best boss fights, I think, in the entire franchise. I think if we were to do a ranking of like every single boss fight in the entire Metroid Prime saga, like these ones would definitely be up there with some of the best. I don't know if Joel, you've had a slightly different opinion, if it's been a little tough on you, but
I've never played any other Metroid Prime game, so I don't really have a gauge. I'm not having any issues with any of the boss fights. A few things I want to say is, one, the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller is fucking awesome. I love that controller. That's how I've been playing 99% of my time with this game. Two, going into this, I did not expect to not use right trigger to shoot. Like, you can, but I found myself more so spamming the A button to shoot because it just feels better, and I can get a lot of shots off that way quicker than with my right trigger. And another thing, the whole no music in the desert unless you have the $30 amiibo is just stupid. I think that there should be music in the desert no matter what. And yeah, maybe your $30 amiibo unlocks one or two more tracks that can play in the background. Because driving around the desert is just, there's no sound. All you hear is your motorcycle and like some humming in the background. And it's so lame.
So let's talk a little bit about the desert in this game. The desert is a huge source of my ire and the ire of a lot of other sort of older school fans. So typically, Metroid Prime games are Metroidvania games. All of the various areas that you travel to are interconnected in some way. And Metroid Prime 2, it was a little lesser than in that you had like one central area and like three areas that extended out of it. But that central area was still very Vania-like in its design, and the three areas that it spoke out to could still interconnect with each other. In this game, you have the desert that's at the center of everything, and you have each individual area that exists as an area that you can access from the desert, and none of the areas really kind of connect beyond that. And basically, as Joel explained, the only way to get through the desert really in a meaningful amount of time is to ride your motorcycle through it. And when you're riding your motorcycle, there's no music whatsoever unless you have the Samus Amiibo, which I happen to have, and you can plop that down on your Nintendo, what is it, like the NFC controller thingamabob, whatever. You put it on the controller, it reads, oh, you got the Samus Amiibo, and now you can start listening to music, but you're shit out of luck if you don't have that. Do you know, Joel, about the crystal predicament in this game? Or have you not gone to that point left?
Is it where you got to crush all the crystals and fill the meter? Is that it?
Yeah. So this is, I feel a little bit bad saying this because like I'm happy, Joel, that you're having a good time with this game, and I don't want to crush your spirit too much, that your motivation to kind of keep going. But the game has a just really the game has like one of the more confounding decisions that I've ever encountered in a Metroid game, where in order to beat the game, you have to collect these green crystals that basically are strewn throughout the desert area. And it's not like, oh, you need to like go over like 10 or 20 crystals and you're good to go. It's like you have to literally like crush like hundreds of them to the point where like even if you're going out of your way to like consistently crush them whenever you're going through the desert, like going back and forth from areas as you play through the game, you still will have like a couple of hours of grinding to do at the very end. That was at least my experience with it.
Well, hold on. Grinding meaning you just drove around for hours on your fucking motorcycle crushing crystals?
I completed every area in the game. I completed every like optional like shrine thingy in the desert, and I still had like at least 2 hours, even more than that, of like crystal grinding at the very end.
That is so stupid. That's so dumb.
I don't know what in the world they were thinking with that. You go on like the Metroid Reddit right now, and everyone's like, what the hell was going on with this? Just sort of like getting back to, I feel like this review, again, Joel, like I'm happy that you're enjoying this. And I feel like this review makes for a really interesting kind of inflection point, because you're saying that you like the fact that it's sort of like Halo, like babies versus Halo or whatever. That's sort of where you and I diverge, where like I'm personally kind of disappointed that it's more in the vein of Halo. I really appreciated the Metroid Prime games in the past when they were a lot less linear, when they were a lot more puzzle solving, and the kind of the challenge of the levels of, the Metroid Prime saga came from figuring out where it is that you needed to go next and how to get from point A to point B. Whereas in this game, they remove a lot of that kind of complexity and make it a lot more linear. But I understand that, like, if you're somebody who's like more in the pocket of Halo, if you have more experience with that particular saga, I can see how like you probably might kind of enjoy that a lot more.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. The last thing I'll say is I got this pretty sweet cardboard thing.
Yeah, I got that one as well. Yeah.
No. You don't got this, Kozi. This is the
You don't
cardboard
have
box.
the Costco display.
Yeah, look, this has the artwork on the back. That's also on the back of the box. Yeah, this is the Costco display. I took it up there to get my game, and the lady brought the game and then like went to go take this from me, and I was like, "Can I keep it?" And she's like, "I'm not supposed to let you keep it." And I was like, "But what if like you just didn't take it from me?" And then she like started laughing a bit, and then she just turned around. She's like, "I'm gonna go get my water." And I just walked away, and I walked out with this. So yeah, this has the front and the back artwork, which is kind of funny. So yeah,
I don't want to drag out this segment or review of Metroid Prime 4 any longer than it needs to be dragged out. And I also don't want to spoil anything narratively for Joel that, he's yet to experience. I do want to ask, how are you feeling so far on, well, I just realized you've only probably been introduced to Miles McKenzie at this point.
No, I met the second dude. I met another dude, Sniper Boy.
I don't, like I said up front, I really don't have that much of an issue with the NPCs in this game. Again, you go online and the discussion surrounding the NPCs is at a fever pitch because, to be honest, in the YouTube content creation kind of grifter community, it's so easy to make a video called can you believe that this game has MCU level dialogue? It's so easy for people to kind of latch onto this as a huge pain point and something to complain about. I really don't have a huge issue with the NPCs. I do think that they're not to me, the Metroid universe is very kind of somber and melancholic, and I don't feel like they're necessarily incredibly calibrated to that whole kind of vibe. Everybody has these very strong personalities that I think would be better received almost in something like a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth IMO. But I don't think that any of the performances in this game are bad. I think that even Miles McKenzie, the most annoying and most highlighted character in this game, are very decently acted and performed, both in terms of the voice acting of it all and also the motion capture of it all. I have less good things to say though, and this is weird to talk about Samus Aran herself. So we're going to go down a bit of a rabbit hole, but stick with me on this one. Metroid Other M released in 2010. People rejected how chatty Samus Aran was in that game. How, so much of her dialogue in that game just felt like a betrayal of the way that people had built up her character to be in, prior games in which she was silent. And I remember at the time thinking to myself, man, however you feel about Samus's characterization in Other M, it's going to be a major pain if the next big 3D game course corrects in the opposite direction and makes her so silent that you wish that she talked more. And I was really just frustrated to kind of get to the end of this game and be like, man, this game kind of has that exact issue. There are a couple of moments early on in this game where Samus Aran is silent and they kind of play up that silence for laughs. There's a bunch of fun little interactions early on where her and Miles are talking, and clearly you can tell, oh, Samus Aran is taking none of Miles' shit. She really finds him to be just a real nuisance, and they play up that silence again for great comedy in those moments. There are so many other moments that I'm sure Joel has probably experienced by now and that are yet to come where Samus Aran is interacting with other NPCs and they're asking her all these complex questions. So, Samus, what do you think about this and that? Samus, do you think it's possible for us to get out of this location we're in? Samus, what do you think? And Samus is just complete, blank silence. Not at all, helpful, not at all, seemingly in tune to the wants and needs of the characters around her. I understand that they're like, we want Samus Aran to be a silent protagonist. That's who she's going to be in this game. But it honestly makes her come across, in my opinion, like way more of an asshole than we know her to be from her characterization in some of the other games of the franchise. And it stands in stark contrast to a game like Metroid Dread, for example, which just a couple of years ago, in my opinion, did like a great job of characterizing Samus mostly through her body language, but also had no qualms about letting Samus speak just a little bit where it made sense here and there. I do have one last thing that I want to touch on. Joel, do you know who the main villain of this game is?
Charlie Cox, the actor.
No, I don't. I guess I don't know who the main villain is.
Do you remember in Volt Forge fighting a dude with like a blue helmet and like a blue set of armor?
No. Was it a boss?
His name was Silex.
Silex. Yeah, I remember Silex.
Silex is the main villain of this game. And the best way to describe Silex is he's basically as if Giancarlo Esposito's character in Captain America Brave New World was also the main villain of that movie. If you've not kept up with the kind of MCU circuits as of recent, Captain America Brave New World had a lot of reshoots, a lot of drama on set. Giancarlo Esposito's character was a character who was like wholesale added into the movie after the fact via reshoots. And that is 100% how Silex feels in this game, where this game genuinely feels like it did not have Silex in it at all, and they literally added him in like the final year of production. A little bit of like background: Silex actually was originally introduced in Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS. The whole idea with that game is they're like, we're going to have a big multiplayer suite. We're going to introduce all these other rival bounty hunters Samus Aran will fight. And Silex was one of the
Diddy Kong racing thing.
Right. And Samus Aran was one of the
Conquer.
Exactly. Silex is one of the other bounty hunters that Samus could fight in that game. And they establish, oh, he's this maniac who hates the Galactic Federation, etc., etc. Fast forward to 2007, at the very end of Metroid Prime 3, Prime 3 has a little post-credit scene where his ship is seen pursuing Samus's ship. And I genuinely believe that had that post-credit scene not been featured at the end of Metroid Prime 3, this character would not even be in this game. Him being in this game fully feels like the devs at Retro being like, oh, fuck, that's right. We promised that he would be in this game, so now we have to insert him into this game, even though he doesn't make sense at all in the context of the story that we're trying to tell here. He's pretty prominently in the intro of this game. He appears at like that research facility. He shows up behind that busted wall. But from that point onward, he appears so very seldomly throughout the rest of the game. And every single time he appears or his presence is felt, again, it feels like MCU reshoots. There's this whole thing where the opening chapter of the game sets up that he's developed this sort of special kind of Metroid, which is like a parasite that basically can bind itself with alien species, which makes him bigger and stronger and eviler, but also under his control. And this is shown effectively in an early boss fight where the Metroid's fused with a big hulking alien that Samus proceeds to fight in the first big boss battle of the game. But from that point on, every other boss battle that you'll encounter in the game, you'll scan the boss and its description will always be, yeah, this monster, he used to be nice. He used to be a nice monster, but then a Metroid fused with it that was created by Silex and it became evil. Even though it might not even be apparent that a Metroid fused with it, one of the early bosses that you fight in the game at the Volt Forge area is like an AI. It's like a glowing ball of light that's covered by like these roof shingles. It's a really good boss fight. It's a really well-designed boss fight, but you scan it and it's like, yeah, this AI, he used to be a nice AI. He used to be a good boy AI. But then Silex's Metroids came and fused with it, and now he turned evil. And it's like, where are the Metroids? He just looks like a glowing ball of life covered by roof shingles. What do you mean Silex's amiibos fused with this guy? Like, it's so clear that they were like, fuck, we have to insert all these references to explain that the entire plot of this game is being manipulated by this Silex character. So just scribble in and be like, oh yeah, Silex is responsible for that. And he shows up a couple more times and you fight him in a couple more boss battles, but it's like, what a just waste of a character. What a like needless inclusion. I'm just it's such a disappointment for me. But I imagine that for you, Joel, it's like, well, whatever. You didn't have any attachment or any expectations with this character, so it sort of like doesn't really make a difference for you.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a difference for me at all. I'm fine with it.
So yeah, I don't. That's I mean the extent of my thoughts on Metroid Prime 4. Again, I want to be careful about going too deep into spoilery stuff, but I feel like I've more or less covered everything that there is to be covered. I'm really curious where the franchise kind of goes next from here, because it's been quite a few years since we last got a like mainline Metroid game, like a non-Prime Metroid game from Mercury's team, the developer that last worked on Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS and most recently Metroid Dread. I could see them possibly even announcing another 2D Metroid game like sometime within the next year or so even. Very optimistic, but it's not out of the question. Retro Studios, when we did our episode a couple of months ago where we talked about what might be next for Retro Studios, this game being one of the highest budgeted games ever developed by Nintendo, what that can mean for Retro if this game ends up, being a financial bomb. Realistically, like, Nintendo is not one to enact mass layoffs and, shutter studios that underperform. I can see the belt tightening at Retro and Nintendo HQ kind of asserting more direct control over it, but especially after investing as much money as they did into Retro over the past few years, moving them into a new building in Austin, Texas, it seems unlikely that we're going to see this developer like go into dire straits if this game doesn't really go over well. But I do wonder if after this game, they're like, we weren't able to really bring this together in a way that like satisfied everyone. Maybe we're just going to move away and focus on other projects, and Prime 5 never really comes together. But
yeah, I don't know,
see.
Man. It's got a Metacritic of 80 and a user score of 8.6. I don't think it's going anywhere.
We'll see. And so, yeah, that's that.
That's it, everybody, for this one's real. This one's the real one of these. I know the last few that I did were jokey jokes, but this one's real because this is the end of 416, episode 416 of Respawn Aim Fire. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Again, we'll have our Pody Goaty episode next week that we are recording with some special guests that we won't name, but you're going to want to know who they are. So maybe listen to the episode. And if you don't listen to the episode, maybe you're going to get a whole bunch of fucking hamster shavings as your Christmas gifts this year. Or maybe you'll get fucking moon rocks as your Hanukkah gifts this year. Or maybe you'll just fucking not get anything for anything you ever celebrate ever again this year. Maybe you'll get poop for Friendsgiving dinner in the middle of fucking December if you don't listen to this episode. Anyway, yeah, that's it for this episode. Remember, everybody, go to patreon.com/respawnaimfire. You'll get some Rafter Dark sometime soon. You'll get some voting capabilities in just a few weeks as we start to vote for January for what games you want us to play from our backlogs next. Welcome back to this side of the earth, Kozi. Welcome back to Just Joy, everyone else. Until next time, here's our usual sign off. Ka-doodle-doodle-doo, ka-doodle-doodle-doo.